and good morning. This is Charlie Fuller. I'm your fitness coach, and I'm 80 years old, and I just wanted to show you what I do for my morning exercises. I do this every morning, come rain or come shine, and I do it because I'm not necessarily flexible, and so I need basically all the help I can get, and so I can maintain my stature, stand up straight, walk right, and enjoy doing a lot of different things. Today, part of the exercise, or part of my stretch, is going to include one of these rollers. Now, I've been using a roller for about 10 years, and I'll tell you, I am a big believer in using them because it helps keep me flexible. However, if you're fairly new to using one of these, I want you to take it slow. You're going to find that, and I remember this from when I first started, you're going to find that if you put your full weight on one of these rollers, it's probably going to hurt a little bit. And so the idea is to use a technique where you're using your elbows and your hands to kind of mitigate or lessen the pressure on your body. Now, as time goes on, you're going to be able to use all the pressure you can get. But to start with, I want you to have a good experience with this. So just keep in mind that using your elbows and your hands as a brace to take some of the pressure off is going to be helpful. Now, this is a 24-inch roller. I started off with a 24-inch, and they have them. They're foam. They're solid foam on Amazon, and they're about $15. So if you choose to get one of those, just remember, watch my technique, and I'll call attention to what I'm doing, so you can kind of get an idea of how to do that. But again, the benefits far outweigh the learning curve. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start off by just doing some stretches to my back and then my legs, and then I'll do some other exercises as well. And so I'm going to start off by doing my back. So I'm putting this to my back, and notice I'm putting my elbows on the roller. And so I'm putting this back in the middle of my back and rolling it a little bit. And then I'm just going to keep rolling it down. Now I'm off my elbows, but notice I'm not on the ground. My derriere is not on the ground. And so I'm just very slowly rocking back and forth. Now, notice I put my seat down, get another grip at it, and then move your feet out a little bit, rub a little bit, and just keep going all the way down. Now, I put my hands behind my head just so the roller doesn't get away from me. So I do my upper back, and then I'm slowly going to come back down. Notice my elbows are coming into play now. So I do this, get back up here, and rock that a little bit. All right, now I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do my hamstrings. So I'm going to put it underneath here. Now I'm going to come all the way over on top. I just basically sitting on it, rocking it back and forth. This is good for your derriere, if you will. And then I'm going to take very slowly. Notice my hands. These hands are stabilizing me. As I move back, I walk them back a little bit, put my feet out so I can balance. Then I just rock forward, my hands back. Now see, my feet are hanging in the air now, so I'm not using them. I'm going to sit down, move my feet back a little bit, or my hands back, do a little bit more, sit down, move back. So there's a lot of balance involved. And the good thing about this is that if you slip, you don't have far to fall. But I get in there. Now, I have a spinning bike here, and I do about 100 miles a week on my bicycle. I live in Utah, so a lot of times it's snowing in the winter, and so I use my spinning bike. And then when the weather gets good, I get my road bike out. And so like I say, I usually do about 100 miles a week on my bike. 3 days a week I designate for biking. Okay, so I've done my leg. Gonna make one more pass with my back. Elbows down, feet close, pushing out, rocking a little bit. Feet out a little bit more, out a little bit more, feet out a little bit more. Put your hands behind your head so you can balance that. That feels so good. It's a good stretch. And get up there in your shoulders. And there we go. Okay. All right, well that's going to conclude what I do with my roller. So I'm going to put my roller aside. Now I have some stretches that I do, and I'll go through those as well. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to get my timer here. Most of what I do, I do up to a count of 20. And so 20 or 20 seconds. So I'm going to start. The first thing I'm going to do is pull my knees as tight as I can into my chest. And notice I'm rocking a little bit. Most PTs recommend that when you're stretching, you don't rock. But personally, I like it a little bit. So I'm going to leave that up to you, whether you want to rock a little bit or whether you want to just maintain stability. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this roller and put behind my neck on this one, and I'm going to grab my toes. Now if you can't grab your toes, grab your ankles. But I can't get my toes any further up because my arms aren't any longer. So I want to just kind of rock again. This is great for the back and for the glutes. Just rock around a little bit, stretch that out. And remember, I do these for about a count of 20. So you can get to a point, what I basically do is just count and kind of keep track of what I'm doing. All right, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do another stretch for the glute. And here I'm taking my left leg and I'm putting over my right. Now my left knee is actually further over than my right knee. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean over to my right. And so when I do this, what I'm going to do is stretch that glute muscle. And it really feels good right in through here to stretch that. Yeah. Then we're going to come over here and stretch this. And again, that stretches out that glute. It's pretty helpful. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and turn over, and I'm going to be doing what we call a plank. I'm sure you're all familiar with the plank. And when we talk about doing the plank, it's basically for your stomach. It's a great core exercise. Works right in through here. I typically will hold it for a minute, minute and a half, sometimes 2 minutes, depending on how I feel. And so you want to use your elbows, get on your toes. Now when we talk about a plank, it's not high and it's not low. It's just about like this. And so I'm going to hold this for about, say, 60 seconds. And you're going to have to work up to that. If you've never done this before, you might find 10 seconds is about all you want to do. So It takes some time, don't rush into it, but just take some time. We got 22 seconds so far, and I notice I'm rocking a little bit. That just kind of takes my mind off of things. Most pressure's on my elbows. So we're 35 seconds, 40 seconds, and got 45. Now if you start to shake a little bit, that's okay. Try to hold it for a little bit longer after when you start shaking, if you do, but don't hold it for too long. Don't punish yourself. Okay, so we did that for a minute. So we're done with that. Now the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take and move on this mat. I'm going to move into a crouching position and then putting my hands out in the front. So I call this a Superman. Now notice my toes are flat. I'm as tight as I can get down. And I've got my arms out as far as I can get them. This is a great stretch for your shoulders, your back, and of course you can see your legs are getting really well exercised by keeping them tight like this. So I'll do this for about 20 seconds. And then I'm going to put my toes down. See, I'm going to take my toes and I'm going to get back and come back down in this tight position and then move out my hands and hold that for about another 20 seconds. Boy, that's a good stretch. Okay. All right, now my last move is where I'm going to do some what I call dynamic push-ups. I'm going to stay on my knees. I'm going to put my hands facing in, and what I'm going to do is try to put as much weight as I can on my hands, and I'm going to go very slow. 1, 2, all the way down. Touch your nose. 3, 4. Don't do this. That's not going to cut it. 5. Now, if you can do 2 or 3, that's all you can do. That's fine. But your target is to take and do 20. And go deep. Deep. It's good for your chest, back, arms. And 20. Okay. Well, that's my stretch I do every morning, come rain or shine. And then after that, I'll do my workout. Now, I work out 7 days a week. 3 days a week, I take and ride my bike, whether it's inside or outside. If I ride it inside, I can get my 30 miles in between 75 and 80 minutes. And I keep that up at a RPM of 80 RPM. That's spinning. And I keep a resistance of 13. Now that just happens to be this bike, but I'm not just free spinning without any kind of load on it. And then the other 4 days I'm in the gym and I'm doing cardio. It could be the treadmill, it could be an elliptical, it could be, there's just a bunch of things I can do. There's a whole bunch of machines that I use. And then also, when I'm at the gym, I also do weights. Saturday, my whole workout is weights. And then I do a little bit of weights on Tuesday. I do the upper body on Tuesday, and I do the upper body on Thursday. Well, I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to be having more videos of different ways of exercising and different ways to get things done. And what I want you to do, if you want to customize this in some manner, please do that. It's better to do something instead of nothing. And then also, I'm a big believer in the fact that if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So if you like this video and like to see the rest of them, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming.